everybody. It's almost time for the Monday Night Cares Net. Jason, I see you checked in and you'll be at the fire department for a meeting. It's fine, not a problem. You can watch it when you get home.
Is the
There it is.
K5VVC repeater system.
I guess now we can get started. It's official. It's 7 o'clock. All right. Good evening, everybody. This is KD5, KJZ, and it's now time for the Canton Area Radio Emergency Sources Monday Night Net. Name here is Randy, located about 4 miles south of Canton off of 198. I'll be net control for tonight's Cares. CARES is the Canton Area Radio Emergency Services Radio Club, and this net is held on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. local time on the K5VZC repeater system. That is 4 of them located on 147.200 over in Wills Point, our primary, 444.975 over in Primrose area, 442.875 over in Kaufman, as well as 444.800 over in our south location at the silo. And this net is open to all amateur radio license holders, and we encourage you to join in and participate. We meet next Wednesday, which is what? What is the date next Wednesday? The 17th. Hello, Gary. Good to see you in there this evening. The CARES Radio Club meets monthly on the third Wednesday, starting at 6:30 p.m. at the Van Zandt County Library. That is on FM 859 next to the Blackwell Historic Home. All interested parties are welcome to attend. That date happens to be next Wednesday, the 17th. So we'll be at the library next week. The purpose of this net is to build amateur radio use throughout Van Zandt and Kaufman counties by providing a venue for operators to become comfortable and proficient speaking over the airways, so that should an emergency arise, we'll be ready to help transmit and receive emergency messages. If at any time you do have an emergency, call in with break, and I'll take that call immediately. With that, we'll go ahead and pause briefly and see if there's any emergency traffic at this time. This is KD5 KJZ. 70-centimeter Yagi to do satellite contact. Now that's a good thing to do. Man, it's been a long time since I've done that, Gary. Be sure you got to get your hands ready for doing the Doppler, because you gotta stay on it. It's not real bad, but it's just something you got to get used to. All right, hearing none, that's always a good thing. We'll go ahead and start our check-in. So when you check in, give me your call sign slowly and phonetically, so I can get you written down into the log. With that, we'll go ahead and start with our check-in. This is KD5 KJZ, and check-ins for the Monday Night Cares.
Kilo Juliet 5 Hotel Tango Oscar.
Which one did you get, Gary?
So India 5 for Bravo Delta India.
Tradio one. Not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that one up. I've got the Arrow dual band handheld.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Mr. Alpha Victor.
Hey, dummy. I missed that one. Come on, mouse. All right, I guess we'll go ahead and take that short pause. We got a small crowd this evening. That's okay. We'll take what we got. We got KJ5HCG, KJ5HTO, KI5BDI, and KF5EAV. Anybody else like to join in this evening? Give me your call sign and we'll get you checked in. This is K5KJZ. Yeah, I like
November 2, Tango Golf Mike.
I like the Arrow because you can get it in a split boom. It'll fold up in a nice compact case, so you can take it with you. Plus, it's dual band. All right, we picked up one more into TGM. All right, we'll go ahead and start with that. When I call on you, if you would, give us your name, approximate location, and whether or not you got any traffic for tonight's net. We'll start off with KJ5HCG. All right, Charlie. Yeah, heard you in there. Sounds like I got a little more audio adjusting to do. You must be coming in on the 800 repeater. You're loud, not really loud, but I can hear you in there. But I gotta adjust that audio. The audio coming from that system is low. It's nothing you're doing. All right, next on the list, KJ5HTO.
Good evening, everyone. Name is Matt. Located here a couple miles east of Canton at I-20 at 1255, and I have no traffic for the net. KJ5HTO.
All right, good to hear you in there, Matt. Hope your trip was nice and relaxing. Next on our list, KI5BDI. Light green
BDI,
box.
this is Kevin, 5 miles north of I-20 off of Highway 15. I'm here with Gabe or Charlie or Bill or Fred or whatever Randy wants to call it tonight. We will be short term after the bad dad joke because AC in my shack's still broken.
All right, Mr. Kevin. Good to hear you and Caleb, Gabe, whatever I mess up this evening for somebody's name. Good to hear y'all in there this evening. And yep, got you marked down as short time. Next on the list, KF5EAV. Okay, Gary, you're talking about right, Randy. This little box up here.
Howdy, everybody. This is Cody. He is getting off that van on East End of Midwheeler. Coming in over the Primrose evening. I do not have any traffic for the net other than to see y'all next week, hopefully. Back to you, sir. KF5EAV.
Yeah, Gary, that is my grandmother's old AM radio. Used to sit on top of her, right above her dryer. And she'd listen to it in the morning when she was making breakfast for my grandfather. To listen to Paul Harvey. And we got to listen to that in the morning when she was making breakfast. All right, Mr. Cody, good to hear you in there this evening. You're a little scratchy, but making the trip all the way over there to Primrose, no problem. Next on our list, N2 TGM.
And TGM name's Ken. I'm in downtown Athens, and I'm here both your 440 repeaters in Canton, Kaufman down here.
I'm sorry I missed that last part, Ken. What about the 440 repeater?
And I'm hearing your one there in Tundra, and I'm also hearing your Kaufman machine down here in Athens too.
Oh, good. Oh, good deal. I thought it was maybe you needed to report a problem. That's okay. Good. Glad you can hear them well. Thank you for that report. All right, that's all I got for the moment. We'll go ahead and pause and see if there's anybody else that'd like to check in with us this evening. It's Katie5, KJZ, taking any additional check-ins. Yeah, my dad was a radio and TV engineer. That little radio up there is actually a tube type radio from the late 50s, early 60s. And in his spare time, he dabbled with clocks. That's why I got all these clocks over here. There's some there. There's a whole passel of them in the house. I got a bunch that I need to take apart and oil. Clean them all up again. Try to keep them all working. All right, no additional check-ins. We'll go ahead and get started with our bad dad joke so Gabe and Mr. Kevin can get back to their rat killing that they need to do. Mr. Kevin, your turn, sir.
KI5BDI. Bad dad joke. What do you call a wizard who's good with ceramics? What do you call a wizard who's good with ceramics? Anybody?
A wizard that's good with ceramics. Anybody got a guess? Anybody got a guess? Wizard that's good with ceramics.
KI5, Andy.
Ed, Cody.
We have a guess on this end of Harry Potter.
That guess is correct. It is Harry Potter. Good job. And I will be going on somewhere else where I don't sit here and form a puddle. Y'all have a good evening.
All right, Mr. Kevin, go find some nice cool air. Thanks for checking in with us. Y'all have a good evening. Porcelain Goddess. Ah, yeah. It was Harry Potter. In case you didn't hear it. I think we've heard that one before. I'm not sure. All right, for the information portion of tonight's show, everybody, I did send out an email on Saturday trying to inform everybody that I got the All-Star node moved over to the Wills Point Tower, and it feeds directly into the controller to the repeater and is also registered to the club call sign now instead of my call. So if you're on All-Star, look up number 482190. If you're in Echolink, look up K5EZC-R. Those are both connected up directly to the repeater out there in Wills Point. And if anybody's got any questions on that, just feel free to holler. And moving right along with the trivia portion. Oh, wait, I got an announcement. Henderson County is going to be doing their Aries net tomorrow evening. I sent out an email on that as well. So if you're interested and would like to participate, Be sure and check in tomorrow evening. Ken, correct me if I'm wrong. That is on the CCL repeater. Is that correct?
That is correct. 146.900.
Got it. 146.900 at 7 p.m. local time. If y'all would like to participate in with Henderson County tomorrow evening, I'm sure they would love having some extra visitors. All right, moving right along to the trivia portion. We're going to do some grounding and some bonding this evening. So we'll start off with the easy question. Is true or false? Grounding and bonding are the same thing. True or false? Gary, you got a false. Okay, why? One of these days, you're going to have to check in with us on Echolink or All-Star. All the way from
KJ5 HDO.
North Carolina. All right, Matt, go ahead and enlighten us on this first one. True or false? Grounding and bonding are the same thing.
Negative. That would be false.
All right, sounds good. You got it right. False is the correct answer. Grounding is when you connect something or some things directly to the ground via ground rod. Bonding is when you bond one device to another that needs to be grounded. All right, here's your next one. What is the primary purpose of bonding equipment together in a ham radio station?
I agree with the guess.
All right, we'll take a guess. Go ahead, Mr. Cody.
Once again, the guess. I believe it is to bring all equipment onto a single ground point. That way they're all grounded, bonded to the same ground, something along those lines. Maybe a more technical reason, I'm sure.
All right, well, that guess is actually very close. Very, very close. The actual term they're looking for is to keep all equipment at the same electrical potential and reduce RF currents. So that's basically what you're trying to say, Cody. It matches everything together. So if there's anything floating as far as electrical between the two, it keeps them at the same potential. All right, next one. What type of conductor is generally preferred for station bonding, round wire, or wide copper strap?
N2TDM.
All right, Mr. King, go right ahead, sir.
The preferred is wide copper strap.
That is correct, sir. Very good. Wide copper strap because it has lower inductance at RF frequencies. Thank you, sir. All right, here's your next one. Why is a short ground connection usually better than a long one for RF? I'll read it one more time. Maybe I didn't read it correctly. Why is a short ground connection usually better than a long one for RF?
UTGM?
Yes, sir, Mr. Ken. Go right ahead.
Hey, you want them shorter, one for resonance reasons. That's one I can think of. There's probably a few more.
Yes, sir. You are correct. There are a few others, but resonance is one of them. Shorter conductors have better inductive reactance and are more effective for RF frequency. All right, here's your next one. What is the recommended practice for connecting a station ground system to a building's electrical ground?
KJ5HTO.
All right, Matt, jump on in there. What's your answer?
Well, I think I'm jumping out there on a limb, but anyway, isn't that basically connecting your ground to the water supply? Like if you have copper pipes grounded into the copper pipes?
Well, that's not. I'm going to say no on that one. If you happen to have copper water pipes, which is pretty few and far between nowadays, you could use that. But no, that's not the answer they're looking for. Anybody else?
UTGM.
All right, Mr. King, go right ahead, sir.
You would optimally you'd want to run a separate ground rod, but you could put it to the building's ground rod. As far as the water pipe theory, that doesn't even meet electrical codes anymore, and I can tell you from personal experience, it was done in this house. It was built in 1952 and it failed about a year ago.
Yeah, it's getting pretty hard to find anything that's got copper water pipe in it anymore. That's just not. They just don't use it anymore. They use that PEX stuff or PVC. All right, yeah, thank you for that answer. And according to I'm just going to reference my dad being a radio and TV engineer. He always told me to keep the radio ground and the electrical ground separate. That's just what he always told me. I'm not sure that's what they're really implying or inferring, but we're going to run with that. All right, here's your next one. What can happen if separate ground rods are installed for a radio station and electrical service but are not bonded together? This is real similar to the question we just had. I'm just going to cut the chase on this one. Dangerous voltage differences can develop between the two grounding systems, especially during lightning storms. I've heard other stories opposite. Ken, have you heard the same thing?
Well, as I said on the last question, optimally is to keep them separate. its own. It's going to go wherever it wants, and if they're sitting next to each other, bonded or otherwise, you know, if it wants to do it, it's going to go where it gets connectivity.
Ground rod, 8 foot deep. Yeah, buddy. Many ground rods as you can get. Bond them all together. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna run with that one for the answer. All right. What is the primary purpose of a ground rod in a lightning protection system? That's a little hard to guess on that one. I'm just going to go ahead and give you all this one because what else would you do with a lightning protection system other than ground it and hope that the lightning doesn't destroy everything anyway? So yeah, you're going to ground it. All right. What device is commonly installed where coax enters a building to help provide equipment from lightning surges? Lightning strike straight to the ground. Yeah, well, you hope that's going straight to the ground.
KJ5HTF.
We had one hit one of our sites over here that just destroyed the antenna, splintered it. Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Well, I believe that would be the lightning arrestor or the all little gizmo. When lightning strikes, it cuts the circuit. So I call them arresters. I'm not quite sure what the technical term is.
There you go. You are correct. Yeah, there's a lot of different brand names out there, Polyphaser being one of them, but yeah, it's a lightning arrestor. That's all it is. It's grounded. Spark arresters, yeah, same thing. All right. In a properly bonded station, should the transceiver, power supply, tuner, and amplifier be electrically connected together? You would hope so. All right, I'll read it one more time. In a properly bonded station, should the transceiver, the radio, power supply, tuner, and amplifier be electrically connected together? Yes, correct, Gary. Yeah, you want them all tied together,
KJ5HTF.
bonded. Go ahead, Mr. Matt. What's your answer?
I'm going to go with yes. They should do. Well, that's what bonding is. They're all connected together through bonding.
You got it. He was listening. Hello, Jason. You are correct, sir. Yep, that is the whole point of doing bonding and then to ground. All right, last one. What is meant by a single point ground in a, roll my mouse here just a little bit, in a ham radio station? What is meant by a single point ground in a ham radio station?
KJ5HTO.
All right, Matt, go ahead. One point of contact. Yeah, that's
All right, well,
basically
the single point ground is what you're bonding everything to. And then that is your ground. So if that makes sense, if I explained it correctly. But anyway, that's what you're bonding everything to is the single point ground.
That's correct. Yep. So, a grounding approach where all equipment grounds and cable entry grounds connect to one common grounding point. So, even if you do have multiple ground rods and they're bonded together to form one grounding point, that's what they were looking for. All right, we'll go ahead and draw this one to a close. Hope everybody has a good week. I'll be out of town on Thursday and Friday, but then back for the weekend. It's supposed to be a nice warm one. I think the weather is supposed to semi-cooperate. We have a few chances of showers later this week, but nothing severe that they've said anything about so far. But anyway, hope everybody has a good week, and hope to see everybody on Wednesday next week. So we'll start our checkout rounds with Charlie G, KJ5HCG.
KJ5HCG, very interesting question. Very good job tonight. Heard a little bit there. Hope it's kids about tomorrow. Y'all have a good week, and I hope you KJ5HCG. We're back to net.
Everything's popping and scratchy this evening. What's up with that? It was like 95 here today, Gary. And it's humid as all get out. We've had so much rain. All right, Charlie G. Thank you, sir, for checking in. Good to hear you this evening. Next on our list, KJ5HTO.
Thank you, Randy. Great questions tonight. Always learn something, so good stuff. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Try to stay cool. It's KJ5HTO, back to net.
Hi, Mr. Matt. Good to hear you this evening. Thanks for checking in with us. And Mr. Kevin and Gabriel checked out. That leaves KF5VAB.
Well, good to hear everybody on here. Thanks for running that, Randy. Definitely couldn't have got all these answers right without my beautiful wife here of almost 15 years on a Thursday. So thankful to have a answer book here in my corner. So hope y'all are well. I will see y'all next week. Farewell. KF5VAB clear.
All right, Mr. Cody. Thank you for checking in with us, and say hello to the lovely wife, Miss Caitlin. We'll be hoping that you have many more years of wedding bliss. Y'all have a good evening. Next, we've got Mr. Into TGM, Mr. Kent.
Well, 7-3 to everybody. Enjoyed it. Good questions, Randy. And for those of you that want to see what a good grounding system on a station does with a direct lightning strike, look up KM5RF on QRZ. He's got some interesting pictures on there. And when you look at those pictures, you lost nothing in the shack. The grounding system, it worked. NTTGM, 7-3.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kent. Good to hear you again this evening. And if you would, give me a jingle, please, before you check out completely on the good old smell phone. Talk to y'all later. 7-3s, everybody. K85 KJZ. We're going to close this one down. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good evening. Stay cool out there. Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. Especially if you get called out to a fire call, Mr. Jason. See y'all later. I got to take this phone call. Hello, Mr. Ken. Peachy, sir. How you doing?